The hidden script beneath Bolivia's ancient monolith. What if a stone could remember, etched not with language, but with knowledge we no longer understand? High on the windswept altiplano of Bolivia stands a site that refuses to yield its secrets, Pumapunku. Scattered like shattered puzzle pieces across the Andean plain, its megalithic blocks seem almost violently tossed by time or force. But it's not just their size that confounds archaeologists, it's their precision. Who shaped these stones, and why does their geometry defy the tools and techniques known to the people of the region? Pumapunku is part of the larger Tiwanaku complex, yet its stonework outpaces that of its neighbors in both refinement and scale. Granite and diorite blocks, materials harder than iron, are cut with such exactitude that even today, with diamond-tipped drills, recreating their joins would be a feat. Some blocks bear grooves and drill holes so precise, one could mistake them for machine-made. The symmetry is unnerving. What civilization, predating even the Inca, could possess such technological sophistication? And if they did, where is the rest of their infrastructure, their tools, their records? Mainstream archaeologists attribute Pumapunku to the Tiwanaku culture, flourishing around 500 to 1000 CE. They suggest copper tools and endless manpower might explain the site. But critics argue this underestimates both the challenge and the absence of evidence. No copper chisels have been found near the site. No quarries nearby show signs of matching extraction. Some of the stones weigh over 100 tons and had to be moved from more than 90 kilometers away. Moving them across mountains, with no wheels and no beasts of burden, strains credibility. Alternative theories abound. Some posit the remnants of a pre-cataclysmic civilization, one that existed before a great flood or comet impact reset human history. Others speak of lost knowledge, passed down from sky beings or survivors of Atlantis. Fringe or not, such speculation arises from a gap in the narrative. When evidence defies our timelines, our tools of reason falter, and mystery seeps in. Even indigenous legends echo with uncanny relevance. Aymara oral traditions speak of Viracocha, a bearded god who emerged from Lake Titicaca and brought knowledge to the people before vanishing into the Pacific. Some suggest the layout of Pumapunku aligns with celestial events or holds harmonic proportions we've yet to decode. In the silence of the high plains, the stones whisper questions. Why here? Why now? What was lost in the centuries between their creation and our rediscovery? The monoliths remain mute, yet unsettling, as if awaiting someone who remembers how to read their code. Pumapunku may not hold a buried treasure, but it contains a deeper enigma, one carved not just into stone, but into the very story of humanity. The desert glyphs that shouldn't exist. In the arid silence of South Australia's outback, far from paved roads or electricity, a curious engraving lies scorched into the ochre clay. Known as the Gosford glyphs or the Kariong hieroglyphs, these sandstone carvings are not Aboriginal in style or subject, but astonishingly Egyptian. Dozens of symbols resembling hieroglyphics line a narrow rock wall, as though some ancient scribe left a message in a language foreign to this land. But how could Egyptian writing appear on a remote cliff in Australia? The glyphs first gained attention in the 1970s, though local rumors suggest they were discovered earlier. According to fringe historians, they speak of shipwrecked Egyptian sailors who made landfall after a disastrous journey. One glyph even allegedly references the death of a royal son, buried near the site beneath a tomb lost to time. Could ancient Egyptians have crossed vast oceans and reached the southern hemisphere thousands of years before European explorers? Skeptics argue the glyphs are a modern hoax, perhaps the product of mischief or misguided enthusiasm. Linguists point to inconsistencies in stroke technique and grammar. Some symbols are inaccurate, out of order, or mashed together from different dynastic periods. But others counter that these deviations might reflect a non-scribe's attempt to record language in crisis, perhaps by a dying traveler with limited knowledge. Archaeological investigations have yielded no mummies, no sarcophagi, and no gold, nothing Egyptian beyond the glyphs themselves. Nearby soil contains no datable foreign artifacts. The stone bears weathering, but some claim it's not deep enough to be thousands of years old. Yet Aboriginal elders in the region remain reserved. Some suggest there is more to the story, that outsiders underestimate how long stories can survive in oral memory. Alternative theories propose ancient global sea trade, mapping expeditions, or even seafaring civilizations predating known empires. If Phoenicians or Nubians once explored the seas, could remnants of their journey have reached this desert? Could knowledge once lost to floods, war, or erasure briefly surfaced here, only to vanish again beneath layers of dust and denial? Whatever the truth, the Carillon glyphs stand as a provocation. They challenge the neat lines we draw between cultures, timelines, and hemispheres. Real or fake, they force a confrontation with the question, how much of our history is missing? Not because it's lost, but because we've refused to look where it doesn't belong. The cave beneath the English town. Beneath the market town of Royston, in Hertfordshire, England, lies a hollow chamber cut deep into chalk bedrock. Discovered by chance in 1742, this bell-shaped cavern revealed something extraordinary. Walls covered in carved figures, religious iconography, and mysterious symbols. Who created this underground sanctum? And why was it sealed, forgotten, and hidden beneath a common crossroads? The chamber's interior is small but mesmerizing. Carvings depict saints, the crucifixion, the Holy Family, and knightly figures. Some are thought to resemble Templar crosses, while others show unfamiliar symbols, runic marks, or geometric patterns. The mixture of Christian and esoteric motifs has long fueled speculation. Was this a medieval chapel, a secret meeting place, or something stranger? Mainstream historians suggest it dates to the 14th century, perhaps used by monks or hermits, but the lack of documentation, the quality of the carvings, and the chamber's location beneath an old intersection hint at deeper layers. Some believe it was used by the Knights Templar, who vanished from public life in the early 1300s after a dramatic fall from power. Could Royston Cave have been a sanctuary for survivors of that purge? Alternative theories link the chamber to pagan traditions, druidic rituals, or even pre-Christian rites absorbed into later religions. The figures are weathered, and attempts at dating them have proven inconclusive. No artifacts, bones, or tools were found inside, only a layer of compacted earth and a strange sense of reverence. The chamber seems designed not for function, but for atmosphere, for initiation, reflection, or concealment. One particularly curious feature is the shaft at its center, descending into nothing. Some suggest it was a hiding space or tunnel, now blocked. Others see it as symbolic, representing descent into the underworld or spiritual rebirth. Whatever its purpose, its presence adds tension to the cave's enigma. Royston Cave remains open to visitors today, yet no official consensus has settled the debate. It resists easy classification. Faith and secrecy, art and fear all seem carved into the walls. And like many underground places, it whispers that truth is sometimes buried not only in the earth, but in the silence history leaves behind. The stone circle that measures the heavens. high in the Bighorn Mountains of Wyoming, at nearly 10,000 feet above sea level, lies a mysterious ring of stones known as the Bighorn Medicine Wheel. Its form is simple yet haunting. A central cairn connected by 28 radial spokes to an outer circle of stones nearly 80 feet wide. Who built this structure, and how did they come to align it so precisely with the stars? The medicine wheel predates written history. Carbon dating of nearby artifacts suggests it may be over 1,000 years old, though some believe it could be far older, passed down and modified over generations. What astonishes modern researchers is its astronomical alignment. On the summer solstice, certain spokes line up perfectly with the sunrise and with the heliacal rising of key stars like Aldebaran and Sirius. This was not a random pattern. It was deliberate, scientific, and deeply spiritual. For many Native American tribes, including the Crow and Lakota, the site remains sacred. It is a place of prayer, offerings, and connection with the spirit world. But to early European archaeologists, its purpose was puzzling. How could nomadic peoples, without telescopes or written records, construct such a sophisticated observatory? Was this knowledge developed independently, or was it part of a broader network of ancient sky watchers? Mainstream explanations credit generations of observation. Oral traditions passed down precise knowledge of celestial patterns, encoded in ritual and myth. Over time, this wisdom crystallized into physical form, marked in stone and memory. But alternative thinkers ask whether such structures reflect forgotten migrations or lost civilizations that once mapped the heavens in many corners of the globe. Unlike Stonehenge, the medicine wheel is not monumental in size, but its subtlety speaks volumes. It is a quiet architecture of awareness, tuned not to power but to rhythm. The stars it aligns with are not arbitrary. They are tied to mythic animals, seasonal shifts, and the human journey through the cycles of life and death. As night falls on the mountaintop, the stones take on a different character, cast in starlight, alive with silence. Here, the ancient builders needed no written script. The sky itself was the text, and the wheel, a cipher. We may never know their names, but through this circle of stones, their gaze endures, watching the same stars we still chase across the dark. The enigma carved into a Cherokee rock. In the mist-covered hills of western North Carolina, etched into a sloping boulder beside a creek, lies a petroglyph so enigmatic that even the descendants of its creators debate its meaning. Known as Judicula Rock, this ancient slab spans nearly 22 feet and is covered with hundreds of intricate carvings, circles, clawed feet, serpentine lines, and cup-shaped depressions. Some say it is a map, others believe it's a warning, but no one truly knows what it's trying to say. Judicula, or Tzul'Kalu in Cherokee tradition, is said to have been a giant, a supernatural being who guarded the mountain passes. According to legend, he leapt from one peak to another, placing his hand upon the rock and leaving an imprint. Some of the markings are said to be his seven-fingered handprint. But beyond the myth lies a deeper question. Are these symbols purely spiritual, or do they preserve forgotten knowledge in visual code? Archaeologists estimate the carvings date back at least 1,000 years, possibly much more. The rock's soft soapstone surface made it ideal for engraving, but that also means erosion threatens its survival. Unlike most petroglyphs in North America, the sheer density and variety of Judicula's markings set it apart. Some motifs resemble star charts or boundary markers. Others suggest ritual pathways or storytelling devices meant to be read through movement, not just sight. While many scholars attribute the rock to woodland or Mississippian cultures, its complexity remains unusual. No nearby sites contain anything comparable. Some researchers propose that the rock may have served as a ceremonial calendar, aligned with solstices or equinoxes. Others speculate about encoded migration routes or even ancient contact with cultures beyond the continent. The Cherokee maintain a sacred respect for the site, but often speak in riddles when asked about its deeper meanings. In traditional culture, not all knowledge is meant to be spoken. Some is only revealed through lived experience, vision quests, or dreams. Judicula Rock, then, may not be a puzzle to solve, but a presence to encounter. Today, the site is protected, fenced off from vandalism, yet open to those who seek. Tourists arrive hoping for answers, but leave with more questions. Perhaps that's the point. Some stones do not want to be deciphered. They want to be remembered. The forgotten tablet that lit the ancient stage. In a quiet museum in Athens sits a small, unassuming terracotta slab, often overlooked by visitors rushing toward marble statues or golden masks. Yet this fragment, known as the Ninian tablet, may hold the key to one of the most elusive rituals of the ancient world, the Eleusinian Mysteries. Who was initiated in the dark halls of Eleusis, and what was revealed to them under oath-bound secrecy? The tablet, dated to around 370 BCE, is the only known visual representation of the sacred rites once held in Eleusis. Carved into its clay surface is a procession. Robed figures, torches in hand, approach a goddess seated on a celestial throne, likely Demeter, the mother, and her daughter Persephone, the returned. Behind the imagery lies an unspoken story of death, rebirth, and cosmic knowledge. The Eleusinian Mysteries were not marginal cults. From peasants to emperors, citizens of the Greek world yearned to be initiated. For 2 millennia, these rites promised something few dared claim, an experience of the divine while still alive. Participants drank a sacred potion, the Kekion, and descended into darkness, emerging transformed. What they saw, swore to secrecy, and never wrote down, has been lost. But the Ninian tablet offers a glimpse. Scholars debate its symbols. The stars above may represent the underworld's crossing. The torchbearers may signify inner awakening, but others believe it encodes the astronomical calendar, linking Persephone's return to the spring equinox and celestial cycles. Some fringe interpretations go further, suggesting that the Kykion contained psychoactive substances, guiding initiates through mystical visions akin to near-death experiences. What's remarkable is that despite Roman conquest and cultural upheaval, the mysteries endured until the rise of Christianity, when the rites were banned and the sanctuary destroyed. Only fragments remain, poems, echoes in myth, and this single tablet, retrieved from rubble and pieced together like a whisper. The Ninian tablet asks us to reconsider how the ancients pursued truth, not through conquest or science, but through silence, surrender, and symbol. Whatever they saw in the darkness, it was enough to change their lives forever. And though the ritual is gone, its echo persists, in clay, in myth, and perhaps still in the quiet chambers of the soul. The desert road paved with clay vessels. In the far reaches of Egypt's western desert, where the dunes stretch like frozen waves of time, lies a trail that once defied the impossible. Scattered across the sand are thousands of ceramic jars, some intact, others shattered by wind and centuries. This is Abu Balas, the so-called Pottery Hill, a desolate outpost whose mystery deepens the farther you look. Why would anyone haul clay pots deep into an uninhabitable void? And why do they form a road to nowhere? Abu Balas was first noted in the 20th century, a strange accumulation of amphorae and water jars sitting atop an isolated ridge. Later expeditions revealed a pattern. The pots stretched along a path that pointed toward the Gilf Kabir Plateau and the remote Uwainat Mountains, regions devoid of permanent water sources. What purpose could such a route serve in ancient times? Archaeologists have pieced together a hypothesis. During the late Old Kingdom and into the Middle Kingdom, Egyptian expeditions likely ventured into the desert for trade, minerals, or mystical knowledge. But the journey was perilous. With no wells or oases, these pots were left as depots, each filled with water like breadcrumbs across a deadly sea of sand. Abu Balas was not a destination, but a lifeline. Yet the scale of the operation is staggering. Transporting hundreds of heavy vessels into the desert required coordination, planning, and purpose. Some scholars suggest a sacred motive, a pilgrimage to a hidden temple or lost oracle. Others see evidence of lost knowledge about trans-Saharan routes that predate even Berber caravans. If such routes existed, they would rewrite trade history and challenge the idea of Egypt as a riverbound culture. Among the pottery shards are traces of hieratic script, cartouches, and occasional tools, but no large settlements, no temples, just silence and sun. Some fringe theorists speak of a desert university, a hidden sanctuary for star priests or outcast sages. Others suspect the jars mark celestial alignments or were placed in ritual patterns lost to time. Today, the Abu Balas Trail is barely accessible. Modern travelers rely on GPS and satellite images to find what ancient ones navigated by stars and instinct. The pottery remains, mute witnesses to journeys we no longer remember how to take. What was at the end of that trail? A mine? A shrine? Or simply the edge of known reality? Perhaps the road was not meant to arrive anywhere, but to test those who dared to walk it. History is not always found in monuments. Sometimes it lies in the fragments left behind, scattered along a path forgotten by maps. Subscribe to the channel, leave comments, and share the videos.